I know.
Hey everyone, Tina Hogan Grant here with my regular Cuppa and a Natter. I like to bring authors into my home and we talk about books, reading, life as an author, what we're working on. And tonight I am joined by Anne Perreault. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Tina?
I'm good, and I can get to call you Shorty. And
I
we
get
know
to
what.
call you Giant, right?
If you're not aware, me and Anne actually got together in person about 2 months ago now?
It was in July.
July, and we had lunch in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
And the one thing that took me by surprise was how short you are.
And I was like, oh my gosh. So we had the same reaction at the same time.
I know. It was crazy. It was crazy. How tall are you?
5'2".
And I'm 5'11".
You're as tall as my husband, actually. Wow.
Huh? What's that?
You're as tall as my husband. Yeah, he's 5'11".
He's 5'11". Yeah. So, and we already have a few people here joining us. I want to say hi to them, and then we're going to talk about your latest book, which is called The Gift.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that in a soon. But I do want to say hello to a few people. Again, I'm joined by Anne. It's Perreault, right? That's how you say it, Perreault. She actually joined me about a year ago.
Yes.
Yeah, you joined me about a year ago, and we talked about your Yellowstone series.
Yeah.
So now you're working on another book, but actually it's coming out. Let's see who's here. We've got Peggy Patterson is here. She says, my two favorite ladies.
Yes. Hi, Peggy.
Bambi is here.
Ooh.
I know you know all of these people. Karen Wright, Janet Westbrook, Diane Jewell, Virgie Lane, Amanda Reynolds. Peggy says, here, I'll put this up for you. I haven't been on Facebook for a few weeks, and I saw this video, and oh my gosh, here I am, and there you are.
I know. And I'm trying to get rid of this glare. For 10 minutes, we've been trying to work on this glare. So if I look like I'm looking down like my nose at you guys, it's because I don't want to do this.
Kathy is here. Kathy from Boston. Oh. Karen says, Tina, you are tall. Yes, I'm tall. Marcy Joe is here. So Anne,
yes.
You have been writing, you wrote a book. Okay, let me get this out first.
Just one book?
I talked to you, wait, that's what I'm about to say. I talked to you about a year ago. Yes. I'm not sure which book it was, but we talked about the Yellowstone series. Mm-hmm. So it's probably around September of last year that we last chatted on my Cuppa. How many books have you written since then in 1 year?
Okay, so written or published? There's a difference there.
Let's go with published.
Published. Okay, that's easier.
That's easier.
1, 2, 3. Only 3.
Only 3.
Yeah.
Only 3.
Yeah, I'm behind. I'm telling you, this gift book, the one that's coming out, threw me off. Wait, was it 3? Yeah, 3 books. So it's really thrown off my schedule.
Why was that? Was it a difficult one to write?
Yeah. It was a difficult one to rewrite because I'd written it a long time ago, and every time I do that, I rewrite the whole entire thing.
Oh wow! Did you change the plot and everything for the story, or
no? Just I changed. Okay, I changed the characters a lot.
Did you change the personalities and everything too? Oh, you pretty much just wrote a whole book. Yeah. But you kept the title. The title's always
been I changed the title too. I don't remember what it was beforehand, but when I was reworking it, and the thing is, okay, here it is. I had to rework it twice.
I don't know if I could do that. Okay, Anne does not have a copy. Now, this book is on pre-order, correct? Mm-hmm. It's on pre-order. Now, I'm going to hold up here we go. There, is that good?
Okay, by the way, I love that cover. It is so cute.
Now, your daughter does your covers, right?
Yeah.
She is very talented.
She is. She
is very talented.
She's trying to get into the business. She's got another author she's working with.
Does she have a website?
She does.
then you need to put it in the comments after
I
we're
will
done.
put it in the comments.
Okay. And if you have questions for Anne while we're chatting, go ahead and put them in the comments too. I try and get to as many as I can, but maybe after the chat, if we miss some, you can go on in and
I'll pop in.
Answer them. Hold on. I want to see the source more people real quick. Amanda Reynolds is here. From doing videos in my class, I learned that it is better if you turn the brightness down on your laptop and the glare go away, at least be less. That's a tip for you, Anne. Look at that. Move your head. Look at that. Thank you, Amanda.
Amanda? High five. High five.
No, really? That is awesome. Your daughter, okay, she did this cover and she's done all of your covers, correct?
Yep, because I'm poor.
Now, does she read the book before she does the cover, or do you just kind of give her ideas of what you want on the cover?
She doesn't read the book. She thinks it's weird that her mother writes books.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
She thinks it's weird that her mother writes books. She loves reading. I don't understand. I don't know. I'm not even. Anyway, but I have to give her a pretty detailed synopsis of what I want. You probably have to do that with your cover.
I do. I give them the blurb, and I kind of give them some feedback on what I would like to see on the cover. And then we go back and forth. What she shows me, and I'm going, okay, I don't like this. I do like this. No, start over. Yes. So I love my cover designer, the one that I have. She's done all of my covers except for the very first Reckless Beginnings that was done by the publisher. But after I got the rights back, I had to change the cover, but I was able to keep the model. So that worked out good because I love the model for Reckless Beginnings.
Nice.
So I'm glad I was able to keep that, but I had to, of course, change the rest of it. I couldn't keep the font, couldn't keep the background, and I like it better now anyways. So it worked out all good. I met your daughter when we...
Yes, you did.
She's a sweetheart. She is.
She is. She is fun. She's so talented. It's just so, she's just so funny.
How did she get into this graphic design? Just because of your books?
Well, have you heard of homeschooling?
Oh, yeah. My son did it. He's doing it now, too.
I homeschooled my kids for about 15 years, but I started her when she was in 5th grade. And we were up here, and I was ready to publish one of my first book. And I looked into, how much a cover would be. And I almost passed out. And so I go to my daughter. I'm like, hello. Actually, my husband goes to her. He's like, Tasha, you can make your mom's covers. You're good enough. She's like, I what? So that was the first cover. We kind of twisted her arm. She had no idea how to work with Photoshop. She'd never done it. She was an artist, not a graphic artist, but she just took that. She's also a photographer. So for my first, what's it called? My first series, the skating series, she took all the pictures of the model. So,
I saw some of those with the outfits and the dresses and everything.
The beautiful wedding dress. Oh my gosh, that was great.
She does really good work, but definitely put her website in the.
Yeah, I will. She'll appreciate it. She's working with another author now, which is really nice. She's enjoying it a lot.
Now, is this a full-time job? I mean, she's not doing school anymore, right?
She's not doing school. She was working for a pizza place, but she just quit. She quit about 2 months ago. She's like, I want to concentrate on my business. So, yeah.
Well, I think she's going to do well.
I hope so. I think
she's going to do well. I think she. Okay, back to you.
Me. Okay. Yes.
We're here to talk about you too. The gift. Okay, you said that this is a rewrite from a book you've written how many years ago?
So I originally wrote the book, I think, let me think, 3 years ago, maybe 3 years.
Wow, so it's been in the closet for a while.
It has. That's kind of how it works.
And and you redid the characters. Now, are the characters based on anyone you know, or the storyline based on any?
No.
Just right from up here, huh?
Right from my crazy
What
brain.
inspired the story?
Sorry?
What inspired the story?
Working dogs. Canines and all that stuff.
Yeah, my Tess used to be a working dog. She was a bird dog for Gordon.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, she's a brilliant bird dog. And
she's a Springer, right?
She's a Brittany Spaniel.
Oh, Brittany, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Brittany, they call them now. But she worked with the Falcons.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, she did. So
I'm fascinated by working dogs. And my last book, Finding Courage, actually has a dog handler in it. The main character is a dog handler. So, again, that Finding Courage actually was written after this book, The Gift. For some, it
came out before.
Yes, it came out before. So there's some similarities in that. It's about dog handlers. First book, The Gift, this one is not. The main character is transferring to be a canine police officer. He's just a regular police officer at this moment, but by the end of the book, he's definitely talking about switching and becoming a canine officer, which is really exciting because I'm going
to read the description a little bit about the book. What was I going to say? I just lost my train of thought. All right, give me a minute. I was going to ask you a question about the book, and does that ever happen to you?
Never. Ever. Wait. Ever.
Never.
In the middle of a sentence, I'll be like, what is that word?
I hate it when that happens. It'll come back to me. Okay, the book, how long did it take you? I know it's a rewrite, to clean it all up and get it into a pre-order. Once you pulled it out, looked through it, and said, okay, I'm going to rewrite this whole thing.
So the first rewrite took me 4 weeks. 3 weeks, maybe.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Huh?
That's not too bad.
No. It was a quick rewrite. I knew the characters pretty well. I remembered them pretty well. So, and then I sent it off to my editor, and I had this nagging feeling that it didn't sit right with me. And my editor is halfway through, and she goes, I feel like we can do better than this. I'm like, I think I agree with you on it. Because, I like to get really into my characters, and I felt that I was kind of keeping them at bay. I wasn't really having, getting to know them very well. So I'm like, you know what? I think you're right. So let me, stop editing right now. I'm going to go through it. And I actually started rewriting in the middle of the book, which was I've never done that before.
No, I didn't think good.
No. So I was like, okay, I know exactly what I want this character to be like. I know exactly what I want to change with this character. And my female character, Dakota, I changed her a lot more. I felt the male character, Shane, was pretty much the way I wanted him to be. But Dakota, she needed a lot of tweaking, a lot of changing. So I went through, and the story pretty much stayed the same, but the character, she changed a lot. And I'm really glad. I was complaining to my editor. I'm like, this is driving me nuts, this story. And she's like, well, you know what? In the end, it's going to be worth it. And so I really feel that I really like the way we turned out.
Is this a standalone or beginning of a series?
Beginning of a series. So it's going to be a 2-book series right now, maybe 3. I don't know.
Did you plan that when you first wrote the book?
Yes. It kind of I kind of, the way I write series is I kind of continue the books throughout the series. Right. So the same characters might be the same, throughout the whole series.
That's what I do. My characters are on it in every book.
Yeah, I like that. I
do too, because the more books you write about the same people, I learn more about them, and so do the readers.
Exactly.
And I've said before, I don't think I'd ever be able to write a standalone because I always want to know more about my characters. And the only way I can do that is write another book in the series.
Right? Well,
You know?
some of my books, I'm really happy with the standalones I've got. Like Finding Courage, the last one that I published that was that was a reach for me. It was more of a suspense, which was a lot of fun for me to write. I love suspenses. But anyway, that's a standalone, and people are like, "Oh, can you write a second one?" And I'm like, I'm really happy where I left my characters. I
You just
don't
leave
want to
it.
mess with them.
They're all happy and content.
Exactly.
Okay. Most of your books, what genre are they in?
Christian fiction, contemporary.
And any other genres you write? Shut up, dog.
Women's fiction.
Women's
So,
fiction.
yeah.
Is there a genre you haven't written in yet that you are tempted to try?
Yeah, future. Like
Sci-fi?
futuristic type.
Like science fiction?
Yes and no. I've got a series that is, it's been written, but it'll need a lot of work. But yeah, yeah. So it's kind of set in the future, but not sci-fi. Does that make sense?
Okay. Well, maybe it's a new genre you're going to invent.
I don't know.
We'll see. And all of your books are clean.
Yes.
All clean. Good
Okay.
to know. Let me say hello to a few more people. Let's see. And if you have let me see some questions too. Marcy Joe saying, I don't know how you keep everything straight when writing suspense. Do you plan your outline books? I mean, do you outline your books or do you just let the story take itself?
So I do a mixture at this point. I used to just wing it. The story was set in my head. I knew what I was going to get myself into. But I'm more of I will wing it, but I want to know what my characters' motivations are. So I kind of plan out my characters. And of course they change things completely.
They always do.
Yeah.
That's why I can't plan. Do you know the ending before you start to write?
Yes.
You do. Does it ever change?
Yes.
Good. I'm not the only one. Ruth has a question for you. Away from the book we're talking about, gift, she's asking, what's next for you? What are you working now that the gift is out? It's on pre-order.
No, it'll be out in 3 more sleeps.
What's that?
In 3 more days, it'll be out.
Oh, 3 more days. So it's on pre-order. Is it on a special price for pre-order?
It's $2.99. I set them as low as I can.
Yeah, we have to make a little bit of money. You can't,
But
for those that have just come, this is, if I can get it in there. Is that there? I can't see.
There you go.
That is the book we're talking about, The Gift. It's on pre-order. Christian romance?
Yes.
Would you call it a Christian romance?
This one definitely is a romance.
Definitely a romance.
A little bit of a, it's got a little bit of a adventure side to it too. But it's definitely a romance. What was I going to say? See, I did the same thing as you. It's gone.
Oh, God, I hate it when it happens, especially when I'm live, but it'll come back to me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Ruth means by this, but maybe you can explain. She's asking, I love the way Anne uses the different languages in her book.
Like foreign languages?
Do you use foreign languages in your book?
I did in What If, because it was set in Pakistan. So
you actually wrote?
I've used it, like the conversations. They would be in Urdu and in Arabic, some of them.
But you would translate for the reader, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
No, figure out what that means.
I was about to say, is there subtitles?
Yeah, so I'm, I think Ruth asked
she said, yes, Arabic. Yep, she talked about Arabic.
Yeah. And so Ruth asked what I'm working on. I'm actually working on a story that is like a huge challenge for me. And it's been a real blessing and a real stretching for myself. It's set in World War II Germany during the war. And it's written from the German side because it's very hard because I hate World War II. There's a lot of, my parents grew up during World War II. They were kids in World War II. And they had to live after through the aftermath. And my grandmothers and grandfathers, they fought in World War II. I lost a grandfather in World War II. So,
Right.
and my mom lost her dad in
Yeah.
World War II. So, that was really hard. And I hate that time in my country's history. I really,
What made you write this book when you hate it so much?
yeah, exactly. So I was reading a book that was I stay away from World War II stuff. You can ask my kids. And so my son and I were watching history stuff on World War II, videos. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm watching this. And I'm like, maybe I'm watching my grandfather die right now. You know what I mean? It was like,
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff. And then I was reading a book, a fiction book, and it was set in World War II, and it was really well done, and it was lighthearted, and it was not your typical world. I don't know what I would call World War II fiction, and I really liked it, and I thought, wow, maybe I should write something to show the other side of the coin, and to honor my grandparents and my parents, and so so I was like, yeah, I can do that.
Now you're finding out the research.
Oh, well, okay. The research is
Yeah.
is a bear. And then I decided. Well, I didn't decide, but I was moved because I was I was moved to write it from the first person perspective.
Oh wow. Okay.
So.
Emotional.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's been really interesting because usually I learn something when I'm writing.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're learning a lot.
I'm actually well, I feel really close to my family right now. And growing up, we were really close as it is. And I feel that connection right now, which is weird.
Yeah.
To my grandparents and even to my parents and my cousins.
Yeah. When my dad passed away, he always said he wanted to write his grandmother's story, which he never got around to doing. So that's something in the back of my mind that maybe one time I'll do it. I have his notes and I have things that I know from him. As far as getting the story written, I'd love to do it as a tribute to my dad and as my mom too, because my grandmother was German and my grandfather was an English soldier.
You told me. Did you tell me that?
Yeah. I told you that in a message.
Yeah.
She actually hiked across Europe with a baby, which is my Auntie Nikki, to go find my grandfather.
What?
Yes, and it's something I would love to write. But the research and the time and all that. My dad wrote a book. He does science fiction. But he wrote a book, a futuristic book, as if how the world would be today if Hitler had won the war.
The Man in a High Castle. Have you seen
he had
that?
To do all that research. He did all the research like you're going through, and he said it was a bitch because everything has to be precise.
Yes, you
and
do.
The way they talk.
Oh my gosh.
The language is different.
And then you kind of feel like the research is taking over the story, which is what I really felt like this last week. I was really struggling even writing like a paragraph, because I was constantly looking things up. I'm like, forget this.
Yeah.
These are people. They lived. Let's just treat them like people.
Yeah.
You know your stuff. You've set the tone. Now, come on. You got this. Let them live. I'm like, oh. So today and yesterday, I was able to write like 5,000 words. Not each day.
That's a lot. Mine is 1,000 a day. I'm happy. And some days I write none because I got too much going on, which really irritates me. But I love reading historical fiction. I love it, especially World War II. I just love it. But for me to attempt to write it, the research just put me off, which is why I've not written my grandmother's book yet, because it's like,
Well, the nice thing, I knew my grandfather. My grandfather talked about his side of the story once, and actually my husband was there too. But he just, one afternoon, he just spilt it all, what he had gone through. And it was like, and I remember it so vividly in my head. So I'm kind of incorporating that into the story, because his story was like, dude, you should not be alive. You should be dead.
Well, when do you think this one will come out?
So the problem is my schedule. I have 3 stories scheduled for next year that have already been written. They've been written, and they're actually, I'm really excited about them because they're set in Dubai, so like
Where you live?
Yes, where I lived, and so I'm so excited about that. And well, Ruth said, "Come on," going back to the questions. Ruth.
That's right. She asked the question.
So Ruth asked. Well, she said I write part in the language, and in the book that I'm working on in the German, part of it, the conversation, they're actually talking in German, which is fun.
Oh, okay.
So, but then I switch over to English as we get into the book. But I put in little words that are German, and just to make it more real.
Keep us posted on that one. I'd love to hear more about this one when it comes out too. I
Yes.
really would.
So it won't. It might not be out until end of next year. I'm hoping that this Arabian story, it's called the Arabian Dreams series. There's 3 books. 3 books written.
We'll have to book you again.
Yes.
I'm already booked all the way to April now, so we'll have to get you in around the time it's coming out.
Yeah, let's wait.
Marcy Joe put this up. It's hard for those who have seen warfare to talk about it, especially to those who haven't experienced it. She's right. Yeah, I agree. She is right. Here's a nice question from Kathy. What made you decide to become an author? How long have you been writing now? Before we get
10 years.
About 10 years. Mm-hmm. So, Kathy's question: what made you decide to become an author?
I didn't. I didn't want to be an author. Nope. Nope. English is my second language. Okay. So going through school, I did my very best to write this amazing. It was set Macbeth in modern times, fiction type thing. I did my best. I wrote it so well. It came back with all marked with red and all that stuff, and I was like, okay, done with that. I'm not ever going to write another. I'm not going to be a fiction writer. But it's funny because going through college and all that, you've got to write a lot of papers.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved to write. So my poor professors, they would get these papers that were supposed to be like 10 pages long, and they ended up being like 15 pages one time. Yeah. One time my professor's like, I will not accept anything more than 15 pages. And he looked right at me. I was like, oh, dude, I can't do that. So I gave it was a final. And I handed my final, I think it was 20 pages, and he still gave me an A.
Well, good.
So, I mean, I always wrote, and then in grad school, I did a lot of research, and I wrote a lot. So I feel like I honed my writing skills then, but it wasn't until we moved here to Vermont that I was definitely moved to, I had I write Christian fiction, so I had an experience where God actually is like, I want you to write. And so I was like, eek, I really don't want to write. But I finally said, all right, fine, I'll write. And ever since then, I mean, I'm writing constantly.
You're writing all the time. I mean, how many total books you have published now?
Published almost 17.
In 10 years, that's amazing.
No, actually in 5 years.
That's even more amazing.
I didn't start publishing until 5 years ago. So I had about 5 years of just writing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
good job.
Bottleneck going.
And it's your full-time job. You don't do anything else.
I know. I sit here on my couch and I write.
You write like 8 hours a day, every day?
I try. No, I don't.
I can't do it. I can't.
I want to, but
I mean, we have other things to do besides write books. We have to promote it. We have to do what we're doing now. We have to get our names out there. So it'd be nice just to sit and write.
Oh, I loved the time when I would just write.
Yeah.
Just write.
Yeah.
But no, I just retired from homeschooling 3 years ago.
All your kids are graduated and everything?
All my kids are alive and graduated, yes.
Good job.
Well, you met my oldest son, too. And he was homeschooled, and he's normal. He's actually the one who moved out to California, and
I met him, too.
Yeah,
I met him, too. Yeah. Speaking of writing, Donna's asking, where is your favorite place to write?
Do you see me?
This it, right there.
Right there. And those are flowers are going bad, but those are flowers my husband just surprised me with.
So do you have an office? Are you in your office right now?
I don't have an office. I am going to claim my upstairs guest room as my office because
there you go.
I love it up there. But the Wi-Fi is a little sometimes
touchy.
It's not that
Can you get a Wi-Fi extender?
We could.
Yeah,
we'd probably have to.
I have one out in my tiny house because I sometimes have to go up there, especially when we have, husbands and dogs and cats, not cats, being loud and noisy. I have the option to go out to the tiny house because I used to write up there, where you can't see it on the camera.
Love it.
Cave, but it's in the center of the whole house, and I can just hear everything going on. So.
Oh yeah, no, I write right smack dab in the middle of my living room. I'm in my little corner. Right. But I mean, everyone is grown up, and my husband works. My daughter's upstairs in her room. My son has to do his college thing, so they leave me alone.
That's good. Can you write with people going back and forth or around the house? Can you just focus and tune in?
Yeah, what I can't do is do the promo. You do the promo. And then you'll be like, oh, I got to do more. I'm in the middle of writing something. And then I'll be like, oh, wait, I'm going to put a promo post up,
You get totally sidetracked. See, I have to have total silence. And my dogs are fine because they'll sit at my feet and just look at me. Right. I just zone them out too. But they would just stare at me the whole time I'm writing. I'll look down and they haven't moved. They have not moved.
So funny. No, I mean, today I was writing and I had to do laundry and I had to do, get food and I had to do all these things. I'm like, okay, I wrote 2 paragraphs today.
I know. That's what I mean. I'm impressed that you can do 5,000 in a day.
2 days. 2 days.
In 2 days. My best day is 2,800. And I'm like, yay, I can go do over this other stuff now, but that's when I'm on a roll.
Yeah.
If I do 1,000 a day, I'm happy. For me,
yeah, I try to crank it out, especially right now because I want to get this Germany book finished before I start the rewrites on the second book for the to Protect and Serve series. Because I want to finish because I have a goal of doing 3 books a year.
Well, you're on that goal. You're
not this year. That. I mean, I don't think I'll get it done this year because. Just the bear of the rewrites for book 1 that was really tough, and I can see book 2 being a little easier to rewrite because I know, but I'm changing the full story, so it'll basically be a whole new book, to write.
No. So. I don't know if I could do that. Oh no. Let me see who else is here. Erilie's here. She says a good goal. Peggy has a question. My question is, if you're at a store or anywhere shopping or just out and you have a great idea for a book, you just record it on your phone for later. What do? Do you write it down on a notepad?
I hope I remember it. I just try. Yeah, rewrites are tough. I know.
Where did that come from? I just clicked on something. Hello, Facebook user.
I know.
Go ahead and answer the question.
So I hate typing on my phone. I'm all thumbs, and I can't deal with that. So I usually just kind of go, okay. Just remember this. Just remember this. Yeah.
That's what I do until I get home. I've tried carrying a notepad.
Forget it. I'd lose the notepad.
It's not that I lose the notepad. My notepads get so jumbled up with notes, it'll take me half an hour to find out that one single note.
True. And well, I just lose the note.
Yeah, what I want to do is just take a little time out and read the description to your book.
Oh yeah, sure.
The one that's coming out. When is it coming out again? I'm sorry.
3 days.
In 3 days. Woohoo! Is anything going on in your group with the release day?
I'm gonna do a launch, but
okay.
I'm gonna do a launch probably not this Wednesday, the Wednesday following Wednesday. So
I'll put a link in my group when it happens, so that way people can come on.
Yeah, it'll be the 6th
and celebrate with you. All right, I'm going to read the description to the gift. It's on pre-order. God opens doors, but it's up to us to walk through them. Dakota Taylor is stuck in a rut. Her dead-end job as a manager of a pizza place is unchallenging. She gets dumped by her obnoxious boyfriend and feels completely unloved by her family. That all changes in an instant when God steps in her life. On the way home from a late shift, Dakota finds herself in a terrifying situation. Thankfully, 2 Boston police officers out on patrol come to her rescue and see her home safely. Dakota is certain that their paths will never cross again. She couldn't be more wrong. Shane Donovan likes his job as a Boston police officer. He's thrown for a loop when he's assigned to train a rookie, but soon begins to appreciate his new partner's sharp intellect and wit, especially when Shane finds himself staring at the wrong end of the barrel. Hello. As a friendship develops between Dakota and Shane, Dakota accepts his invitation to participate in a weekend scavenger hunt. Shane quickly discovers that stakes are higher than merely lounging by the pool or fishing by the lake. Will God turn this opportunity into something that would change Dakota and Shane's life forever? Very good. I like that. This is book 1.
Yeah. So the series is called Protect, and Serve.
Okay, and then book 2 will have the same characters, Shane and Dakota, and probably some new ones.
And some new ones, and some old ones.
Yeah, I find this is what I'm learning. Of course, my series just keep adding and adding. When I write the next book, here come some new characters. Oh, now they're going to need a book.
I know. Well, that's what I'm really, really, really afraid of in this next book. It's going to be called The Blessing, by the way.
Okay.
I have the title. But there's going to be a new character, and I'm like, oh, man.
I know.
This new character is going to want, a book.
Yeah, that's what I know. Every time I write stuff, it's like, okay, where did you come from?
Yeah,
I
know. So I'm really this is what happened to me in the Yellowstone series. I had written book 1 and 2. I was all set and happy and all that, yay. And then I thought, gee, I can't really. Oh, this poor character. I can't leave him there.
Yeah, exactly. You got to bring him in and let the readers get to know him too.
Yeah. So book 3 was born, and I had a blast with book 3.
I always like seeing this question because it's such a hard one, but I'm going to put it up anyways.
Go for it.
Favorite author?
I do. I will. And you know what? I will just one favorite author. Oh.
No, pick as many as you want. It's just you can't pick just one. I'm sure. No.
Okay, so here I go. I have met so many wonderful authors.
Okay.
They're just authors are really cool. Actually,
I would hope so. We are.
Oh, nice. I know, right? Anyway, but before I became an author, I was a very big time reader, and so I was reading a book by an author called Tessa Afshar. She writes biblical fiction, and so I really love her flowery language. She's actually from Iran, and we actually have quite a bit in common because she went to boarding school in England. I went to boarding school in Austria, then England, and I've met her. She's a wonderful person. She lives in Connecticut, one town away from where we used to live. It's so funny. But anyway, so Tessa Afshar is one of my favorite authors because she opened up my eyes to literature. And right around the time I'm like, maybe I can write. possibly. And then there's Ronnie Kendick, who is definitely my top favorite author. She writes military fiction,
Okay.
Christian fiction, that type of stuff. And she's a homeschooling mom, or was a homeschooling mom. And I was so inspired by her story that I was like, well, if she can do it, I can do
You
it
can
too.
do it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she's actually I've become, I stalk her a lot. And so she's been very encouraging with her own journey, that she's going through. And then there's Tamara Lee, who is, she writes medieval fiction. And uh, I was like, I don't write that. That's just knights and but she's really good, and her books are so interesting. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, yeah. So, and then I just found out a new one. Her name is Julie Lessman,
Okay.
and she's fun to read. She's kind of lighthearted and yet deep. So I like that.
Do you have a favorite genre that you like to read? Do you pretty much read what you write?
I like to read mystery. I like to read anything that's like, I love suspense. Agatha Christie. I grew up on Agatha Christie, so yeah, I like her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to have romance because otherwise
Okay.
it's kind of boring.
And what genres will you not read?
I will not read horror.
Me too.
I'm not a fan of science fiction, although Ronnie Kendick has just come out with a science fiction series, and they're really good. So I've read them.
Right. Yeah, my dad wrote science fiction, but I didn't read all his books. Some
Oh.
of them were just way over my head. I've read about half of his books, but he wrote about artificial intelligence. And I'm like, huh? But, I've read about half, but some of them are just, out of my league. They're just, I read the first paragraph. I'm like, what did I just read?
Yeah.
But, a lot of them I really enjoy, but there's just some that I can't.
Yeah.
Karen Wright says romance is her favorite. A few people are saying romance is their favorite. A few people are saying agree with the horror. Dana Lee, let's put this up. Dana Land Dobbs, you really should read her books. They are good.
Oh, okay.
There's a little shout out right there. Hold on one second. Here we go. From Leisha Haney. What was your favorite book as a child?
Anything to do with horses.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm a
Did
big.
you ride horses?
I used to teach horseback riding.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I competed for a long time. Competed in college. I competed after college. Yeah. My son is a horseshoer, farrier.
Right.
Let's see. My favorite book as a child was actually a series by a Swedish writer, and it was about a horseback riding instructor. So yes.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I've ridden a horse once.
Oh, I love
My back was killing me for days, and they said I was sitting wrong.
Yeah, you probably were.
So I never did. We went horseback riding in Malibu. It was fun, but after I got off that horse, I'm like, never again.
I love horses, and like a lot of times I try to put horses into my stories. Because they were so much part of
your life. I'm sure you watched all the movies like Black Beauty. Isn't Alicia? Oh, you don't like? Deisha asking if you watch International Velvet.
International Velvet. I love International Velvet,
but not Black Beauty.
Oh, Black Beauty.
Okay. All right. Well, we got
Actually,
that.
Okay, this is really pathetic and sad. Because I had a horse.
Right.
I sold my horse, and I thought if ever I lose sight of him, I'm going to find him, and we're going to have that Black Beauty moment. Well, I had not lost. I knew exactly where he was, and I went to visit him, and he looks at me, and I know he was so mad at me. He was furious at me that I sold him, and he just ignored me. He ignored me. He Yeah, he ignored me. I'm like, Black Beauty moment. We didn't have the Black Beauty moment.
Does your daughter ride horses?
She used to compete. Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, cool. So when you're not reading and you're not writing, you no longer have horses, what do you like to do as a relaxation or a hobby? What else? You can't say reading, you can't say writing.
I can't say reading, huh?
Nope. We already know that. We already know that one. So what else? I know you like to walk with your dog. I've seen pictures of you walking with your dog.
Yes, I love my dog. I love to travel.
Well, with COVID, you haven't been able to.
No, I haven't. And my family is still in Germany, so I haven't seen them in over 2 years. Actually, I haven't been to Germany in 5-6 years. So
it's like me. We're going to England. I'm dying to go back to England, and my sister hasn't been able to come out here.
Oh wow, yeah. Thankfully, my sister lives in New York, so I just got to see her over the summer, which I hadn't seen her since the start of COVID.
You came out to California.
Yep. Saw my son. Spent time.
And me.
And you. That was so much fun.
That was a lot of fun. And then we went up the week after, and it's all your fault. I was supposed to be working that weekend, and so was Gordon, and we were up there to meet you.
Yep.
And we bummed around at the docks after we left you, and Gordon's like, "Oh, let's come up here next weekend and kayak." I'm like, okay. So we took the weekend off and went back to Santa Barbara and spent all day kayaking. But it was really good, so it was fun. We enjoyed it because that's one harbor we haven't kayaked. We go there for dinner. We'll go, bum around the docks and look at the boats and stuff. But we've never taken our kayaks there. So thanks to you, we actually got to kayak in Santa Barbara Harbor, which is nice. So
Santa Barbara is beautiful. Santa Barbara is gorgeous.
It is a nice place, and it's about 2 hours from where I live, so it's not that far.
No, it's not.
It's not. So, Karen's asking, what is your favorite place to visit? I'm watching the clock if my eyes keep disappearing. Because I explained to you, if I go 2 seconds over an hour, I can't upload it to Instagram. So I'm watching it.
So
Karen's asking, what is your favorite place to visit?
My favorite place to visit would be, I loved Yellowstone. And right now, I'm looking at my husband like, I'm sorry, husband. I really love California.
It's pretty, but that's about it.
See, okay, so I grew up in Dubai, right? So I haven't been back there in over 20 years, but California reminds me of Dubai the way it was back then. Just the architecture and the setup and the big roads and it just reminds me of it because you have the beach, you have the mountains.
We have all this. I mean, I can go one direction. In an hour, I'll be at the beach. I'm at the mountains now, 5,000 feet.
Right?
Huh?
Right, exactly.
And I'm 75 miles away from a city.
Yeah.
So I have it all. I could never live in the city again. I love where I'm at. I'm not in all that craziness. So that I'm happy with. But we pay too much in this state. We're the highest in everything, and that's what drives me crazy.
Well, I mean, so I love going to Yellowstone. I'd love to go back there.
That's on my list to go. I haven't been there yet, but I saw your pictures. What is a place you've not been to yet that you want to see?
I would like to see Spain. I've not been there. I've been to Italy. I've been to France. I've been to Austria. I've been to Russia. I've been to Pakistan. I've been to the United Arab Emirates. Yeah, England. So
you lived in England, but you live south of where I did.
I did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you come back with an accent?
I did. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I learned British, right?
Right.
I learned British. So me and my sister, she was American. She went to an American school. I went to a British school. She spoke like an American. I had the British accent. So we'd get together. I mean, we'd be out together, talking English, and people would, oh, you guys are, it's so nice that you're playing with this little girl. I'm like, well, that's my sister. Like,
because you have different accents. Yeah. Well, my sister comes over here.
Yeah.
I have a hard time understanding her But by the time she leaves a month later, I'm talking like her.
Oh yeah, when I go to Germany,
right back up. It's crazy. Yeah. I'm looking at our time.
Yep.
You're doing the giveaway, so let's talk about that. And what is the giveaway, babe?
I am giving away. Well, I'm giving away an ebook too, but I'm giving away
the gift. Yay!
Yes, these are stickers. I love these stickers. Look at these cute stickers. Can you see it?
Oh yeah. Now, did your daughter design those too?
She designed this. I did this.
Check you out. So you're giving away the stickers and the book, you said?
Yeah. Yep. I'm giving away one set of these stickers and an ebook.
Excellent. Perfect. Yep. And I'm going to pick, or you can pick a winner. It's entirely up to you.
Okay. You can pick a winner.
Okay. I'm going to do it in a couple of hours, and it'll be from the people that are here for the live. I would check the author page. I would check the group and YouTube, and I'll pick a winner. And as always, every week or every time I do a chat, I give away a box of Yorkshire tea.
I need to reorder mine.
Do you like it?
I love tea. I love it.
This is my favorite tea. So someone's going to get a box of tea bags with Yorkshire tea. And then if you go to my author page and you share this video and tag me, you'll be in the drawing for a $5 Amazon gift card. But you have to go to the author page and you have to share. And I will check to see who's tagged me and who's shared, because that's the only way you're getting the drawing for the $5.
There you go.
There we go. So you've got 3 prizes. And as always, this has been a blast. I love talking to you. Come back to California. If not, we're going to come to Vermont.
I know you are, right? You better.
And everyone that is joining us tonight, I do want to cut this up under an hour so I can get it up on Instagram. I want to say howdy to a few people. We've got a few more minutes before I go. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and we'll go through. You have to go to the author page and the group to find the question because there's 2 spots.
Can I go to either?
Go to both because the feeds are separate. They feed together on this page. But once the video is over, it's 2 separate feeds. But they all funnel into the video for here. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. Thank you, Anne.
Thank you for having me. It's always so much fun. I love it.
We'll get back in next year when someone asked, I don't know who it was before we go. Do you have a title for the World War II book?
Yes.
What is it?
Defending My Father's Home.
Oh, I like that. I do. This always goes by so quick.
I
know. But thank you, everybody. We will talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.